Greetings, patriots, starseeds, light workers, and of course our very brave military. Welcome to 1776 United, and we are in a worldwide and galactic revolution. And I'm Alex West, and this is October the 4th, 2025. Okay, your cards will be frequency attached. Okay, this means it's only you. I don't care if you're married, brother and sister, common law, whatever it is, boyfriend, girlfriend, it's your card, okay? Only, and make sure it's done that way. When you go into the redemption center, they'll ask you to go in there not before 10 minutes, and do not be late. So I'd be there at 7 minutes before your appointment. Now, when you do get in, like I says, there's things that protocols that you have to ask for, that I would ask for. I would, make sure that it is a redemption, clarify that it is a redemption center and not a bank. Okay. Banks are not your friend, okay? They never have been your friend. They have been centralized, set up around the world to take your money and play on the stock market, and they keep only 10% back in their banks for their daily operation. The rest of us just play, they just play with it. If they had every account come to them and ask for their deposits back and whatever's on their account to give it back to them, they wouldn't be able to do it, okay? Just so you know. That's why I say take your money out of the account first. I mean, you are the digital warriors. You are the ones that are listening to me. You are the tip of the spear. And we have to protect ourselves in order to protect other people, all right? You will be joining into an overall world. Okay, this will go, you digital warriors will be joining a world peace plan. So following the scripture and doing good for others is going to be pinnacle. Okay, the QFS and your card and your new phone, Q phone, will secure voting and banking transactions. There will be no need for banks or cybersecurity because everything is frequency and your biometric is to you, okay? It's called the Q Consciousness ID. And Q obviously means quantum. So we are going into something that we should have had, thousands of years ago. Our technology has been, we've lost 10,000 years in technology. And, the galactics that are looking at us now are basically saying that we are genetic royalty, but we are babies waiting to break out of the shell with God-given superpowers. And that's what is making them so excited for us. And we will be needed, we will be needed to fight off all the evil, not just on this plane or ecosystem we live in, but throughout the galaxies. Okay? Governments will not rule over you ever again. Okay? Governments are going to be gone. 95% of them are going to be get trampled, and they will be fade off into the distance because they will not be needed anymore. We're going to have peace councils. Now, the BRICS Alliance is an international trade and payment system using gold-backed currencies or silver or any other precious metal such as oil or whatever, right? The BRICS dollar is not a fiat, okay? Is not a fiat dollar. It's a gold-backed trading note that is backed by gold or silver or any other precious metal. The digital assets will be backed by gold and silver, okay? So basically, the U.S. fiat dollar is not backed by any type of securities. Only the military. So if you don't, like what in the old days you used to, and we're going to call it the old days, going forward, because you'll be able to tell your children and your grandchildren And of course, I have to say that we should be living 900 to 1200 years, and some many more years beyond that. So hopefully all that is coming back. The life extension is extremely important for our humanity to survive, okay? Because we have all this knowledge, and the good people that have this knowledge keep building, and we have to be able to build a legacy to pass this, this knowledge on to the newcomers that are coming on. The new world is moving into a decentralized system, okay? That means it's going to be each region or each state or each country will have its own currency, old gold-backed currency, and their monies will be valued based on the value of assets in the ground or technology or whatever they have type thing, okay? So there'll be no more money manipulation. And this is why I'm saying to anybody that's out there that has got a few bucks kicked aside, $2, $3, $4, $5, $600, go buy some foreign currency. Namely, if it's still available, the Vietnamese dong. I know that the Iraqi dinar's gone, the Venezuelan bolivar gone. There's many currencies that are not available anymore. So you are in a very small window right now in order to buy some foreign currency. And like I said, what's the risk? It's not like you're going down to Vegas and running a crap table. No, if nothing of this happens, you just take the money back in and exchange it. By losing, you might lose a few points, but really, the upside of this is way too big not to just to ignore it. You shouldn't, jump on this opportunity. And it's not part of the GESARA, NESARA, or QFS. It's a way to bring sovereignty. Okay, all the systems are going to be decentralized, and it's a way to bring sovereignty to each country to have their own independence. Okay, not controlled by the USD dollar that can and does manipulate by taking a percentage off of each trade deal. And they're doing that all the time, and that's how they were stealing, companies or countries' money by doing that. Now, before 1913 in the United States, just a little side note here, they were implementing tariffs on all their trade goods. Okay, 1% here, 2%, 3%, maybe, whatever. And the United States was the richest country in the world. They had so much money because of these tariffs, and it didn't hurt anybody, especially the Americans. They had so much money, they didn't even know what to do with it all. It was coming in droves, and it didn't matter what currency it was because it was all based on the value of that particular country. Get what I mean? So we need the tariffs, and we need to wipe out the taxes that is plaguing humanity. It's not needed. Everything on these countries will be a republic, and everybody will have little wee tariffs on them. Okay, that's the name of the game. If you want the product, you're going to have to pay a little bit more, to put that 1 or 2% in the tariff there on that product. And of course, the IRS, which used to attack the American taxpayer, or the CRA used to attack the Canadian taxpayer, or any other tax departments right around the world, are going to be external. Okay, they're not the IRS, not the internal, but the external. It's called the ERS. Okay, External Revenue Service, which is going to be monitoring all the tariffs coming in and taking that little percentage and compiling it into the Treasury. Okay, now we sovereigns will have autonomy to trade. All restrictions will be removed. Okay, so this is giving us a chance for companies, small, big, whatever size you want to be, to do trade. If you want to trade, something overseas, and you bring it in, you'll be paying basically that your dollar will be the same value of whatever dollar they have, right? The SWIFT system is old. It's an old system and can and does put sanctions on countries that do not follow the globalist rules. And if it gets so bad, they will attack the country and decimate it, and then devalue their currency, which, perfect example, Vietnam, when they, and that was in my years. I was a kid, and, I was all gung-ho, blah, 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 wanted to enlist. I didn't pass the exams, the medical. Anyways, doesn't matter. And what they did to that country, they took a Vietnamese dong that was worth $3 to an American dollar, and they devaluated it down to 25,000 dong for $1 American dollar. So basically, before the war in 1958, Vietnam's industry and their technology and their resources outweighed the Americans 3-1. Okay. After the Americans weren't going to put up with it, because Ho Chi Minh back at those days, he came to Johnson and asked him, we want to do trade and business with them. They had nothing to do. They didn't want to have any part of it. They pushed him out of the American system, and Ho Chi Minh had no choice but to go to the Russian Federation at that time and become a communist under communist strength. And that's how the split came, because when the Americans invaded after the French invaded Vietnam in Saigon, they drew the line through the center of Vietnam, of course, North Vietnam, South Vietnam, and of course eventually in 1975, thank God I didn't go, the North Viet Cong won the war. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. They kicked the Americans' ass and pushed them right out into the sea at that point, once they took over Saigon. And all the collaborators that were working with the Americans were all put in the street and shot in the head. It was a very, very bad time. And, but who created it? The globalists. And again, this happened again. We went, we have to understand that the Americans, ever since their conception, ever since their 1776 became a country, they've been in wars everywhere. And that is what Trump is trying to stop. He's trying to stop the wars, okay? So, and of course, this again happened in Iraq, and this is why we, thank God they never did a split between East and West or whatever it was. They had some sensible people go in there and rebuild the country, which is now flying high, and that dinar should be worth a pile of money afterward, but it's not available. It is in some places, it's available. Okay, all countries that have signed, including the U.S. Republic, has signed on. Okay, so where we're at right now, we have 209 countries in the world, and all of them have signed the peace pact to follow the Geopolitical protocol. Okay, so but a lot of this stuff you're not going to see or hear about on mainstream media. They're keeping that all hid or whatever, and keeping everybody in this World War III distraction to, while they're silently moving all the fundings and, prosperity packages and everything else into place. And hopefully, we'll get to a point, and of course, then there'll be the big scare event, and then hopefully after that, it'll be the 10 days of darkness. And then we'll be probably, going into the new world Nasera QFS system. They're building and working on it right now. Okay, countries can trade more freely and fairly with each other with their own currency. So, that's all, the petrodollar never had a gold or silver backing on it, okay? So these currencies that people or countries will be able to trade with will be able to trade with each other freely with their own gold-backed currencies. this is going to wipe out the globalists. Anyways, my time is up on this one. We'll see you on part 3.